Good morning. I'm delighted to see you all here for a quite special day. Welcome to Cleveland. Welcome to Case Western Reserve University, to the School of Medicine White Coat Ceremony for the university program and for the Cleveland Clinic Limerick College of Medicine College program. I'm so pleased that we're all here together in person for a change, and that your family can observe at a safe location either now or when it's recorded and posted. As your medical careers begin, we wanted to meet you and send you off in person, mindful of our new world, but take advantage of the wonderful summers while you're in Cleveland. This is the best time of year. I was out completing my 40-mile bike ride before I showed up this morning. I'm hoping that when you arrived onto the campus, you also saw Cleveland's commitment to culture, the arts, and an incredibly far-reaching humanistic education that will complement your education in medicine. Look around here. You will find the most wonderful integrated learning environment imaginable. Take advantage of it. We're surrounded here at Case Western by university hospitals, Cleveland Clinic, the VA, and a few miles away, Metro Health, as well as our local federally qualified health centers, which you'll all visit, the Board of Health, with which we are actively engaged, and many community-oriented programs that I'd like you to take advantage of. They will complement and expand your emotional and educational activities in the practice of medicine. But also, close by, the finest cultural attractions in the country: the Cleveland Orchestra, the Museum of Art, and the Cleveland Institutes of Art and Music. Please visit and enjoy them. This ceremony marks our welcome to each of you into the society of healers of mankind. And from this day forward, we look to you and we expect that you will see the world in a different way. In part because this is not a job or career, it is a life choice. Receiving your white coat is the starting gate, a flick switch, moment that will mark and change your lives forever. Our medical educators here today strive to create a learning, research, and clinical environment designed to help each of you become the best physicians, scientists, and healers on the planet. And there's no reason to think that you won't become so. Many who have gone before you recognize that even in medicine, they could not stand the status quo. They dreamed of a better understanding of societal ills, of human diseases, of treatments for our most dreaded diseases like COVID, focusing their efforts on discoveries and in ways to improve the health of the world, one patient at a time. We recognize the acute preoccupation these days with COVID-19 is a microcosm of what your overall education will be about, to confront the challenges and the needs to link discovery and patient care to help society, including such elements as social injustice, racism, sexual harassment, poverty, and environmental hazards. Each plays a role in health and needs your attention. As we discussed during our focus on professionalism on Friday, we expect you to enter your profession as healers, open to all, with prejudice towards none, but also to seek understanding, identity, and to call out how those social constructs harm our patients and our communities so that you can help eliminate them. Today is my honor and privilege to welcome each of you who were selected from a rather large set of applicants to this institution for your very special skills and passion to learn medicine. And it is your honor to enter this exceptional environment of medical education and care. Here in Cleveland, we focus on medicine. Now, I was the first in my family to enter medicine, although my brother, a few years older than I am, is now an expert in vaccines and is developing a COVID vaccine. My wife and I met the first day of medical school, so students, look around. See who's here. Now, she's delivered over 7,000 babies in our community, and in some instances, members of the medical school class. And each of our 2 children are physicians, including a graduate from this medical school, and they've offered a little bit of advice when I told them I was giving a white coat ceremony, so bear me out here. They probably have better advice than I do. My daughter Ruth, who's a psychiatrist, advised, it's important to put aside assumptions, superficial understandings, and preconceived notions in medicine, and instead consider each patient or each research question anew. And my son, a medical oncologist, added, physicians, whether in clinical or research work, must be humble in their thinking, come to each challenge with curiosity and openness to new ideas, so that we can avoid the plague of confirmation bias that hinders creativity and objectivity and maintains the status quo. So if you want to know what I've accomplished in my career, I married the right person, and I have 2 great kids. Now, what about you? The essence of medicine is really learning how to learn and maintain that learning spirit for your entire career. To learn, you begin to listen and spend the rest of your life listening. You listen to your teachers, to your patients, you listen to the anxieties, their assumptions, and occasionally you'll learn to listen to us old folks. To learn, you observe and integrate what you see, hear, smell, and feel. And if you're going into psychiatry, you know how important your own feelings are, into a synthesis of impressions. You will learn that 90% of the physical exam happens before you touch a patient. To learn, you ask questions. You keep asking why. Just like when you were a 4-year-old and you asked why. So keep asking questions. To learn, you seek and find answers to those questions, finding facts, integrating your experiences, that's what IQ is all about, your observations, recalling images, what you heard, refining the question, and finally taking complex answers towards a simple solution. To learn, you care. You care for your patients, your coworkers, those like you, those unlike you, those you like, those you don't like. Care comes first and last. Nothing else matters. To learn, you simplify. To build on that simplification, a solution, a diagnosis, a prevention, a treatment. You've got to condense all that information. To learn, you speak. Lastly, synthesize those impressions for your peers, for your patients. Learn how to concisely bring to conclusion everything that you've organized. And you'll note, I didn't use the word memorize. You might have memorized in college. You better not memorize in medicine, because we really want you to learn it deeply and thoroughly so it becomes part of you. So those are my little notes on what's next for you all. So now I'd like to introduce our incredible education leaders who have crafted the curriculum that you're about to undertake and are incredibly well focused on your well-being and who want to support you during your entire journey here as medical students. They should serve as your teachers, your scholars, your mentors, even your sages. They'll be with you this entire learning journey. So let me call out each of them, and I hope I don't miss too many. Leah Logio, our new Vice Dean for Medical Education. I'd like her to stand up and stay up. She has just joined us, and she'll be helping you with the oath. She's an innovator in medical education curriculum, has spent the last 25 years advocating for patient safety, developing cutting-edge methods and programs in medical education, and supporting the development of faculty and students. Neil Mehta, thank you, is Associate Dean for Curriculum Affairs at CCLCM. Amy Delfas is Associate Dean for Curriculum and Professor in the Department of Pharmacology. Lena Mehta, whom you've all met, you can finally have a normal conversation with. And our incredible society deans, Marjorie Greenfield, who is the Dean of the Geiger Society, Margaret Lorkins Pettigrew, Dean of the Robert Robbins Society, whom, if you don't know, Robbins was a Nobel Prize winner for his work on the polio vaccine. Todd Otteson, Dean of the Blackwell McKinley Society, I took care of Dr. McKinley. Steve Riccinati, Dean of the Warren Society, who stewarded my son through the Warren Society as a medical student. Jill Azok, Dean of the Stature Society, a graduate of our medical school, and Christine Warren, Associate Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs at CCLCM. Now, this is an amazing group, and I think they all deserve a clap for the preparation they've made both in today and the entire curriculum. Thank you. So I hope you're all just a little bit overwhelmed, but we're here to help. We want you to explore as much as you can of the city, of our university, of the school, of the hospitals, and if you have time and effort available to you, some of you are already committed to that for your MD or a master's program or PhD program, in addition to your regular curriculum, you'll find it to be an incredibly rewarding experience. So now I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Dr. Jim Young, the Chief Academic Officer and Professor of Medicine at the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine and a longtime colleague here. Thank you. Jim.
Well, thank you, Dean Gerson, and also Dean Isaacson from CCLCM, who's on virtually, I hope, at this very moment. Now, the only problem so far is my accompaniment went away when Dean Gerson sat down. There's no more bells. What happened? Maybe they're coming back. I've never enjoyed having an accompaniment like this. But thank you so much, all the faculty and staff of our extraordinary School of Medicine, who sincerely are dedicated to the education mission of our profession, particularly at this watershed moment. And to you, the students matriculating to Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine, both university and Lerner tracks, welcome to the White Coat ceremony that has become traditional and signifies with somber dignity your beginnings in a unique and noble way of life. This is a path that's a calling. It's not a job. It's a profession where you run to the flames or into the battle and not scramble to hide meekly from the danger, frustration, hard work, or challenges entailed. It is a calling. That's the first thing I hope you can remember. We accept the dangers and risks made so very apparent by today's pandemic and social awakenings. And so this time is, indeed, a watershed moment, a turning point. It is the exact time that changes the direction of any activity or situation, and you are the change agents of the future. I'm hopeful you'll remember a few things that I have to say. No one ever complained about a short speech, so I was given 5 minutes. Thank you. I may take 8 at the most. I wish to tell a short story is all. I believe that history and our lives are best remembered with stories. And so this is a story of mine from decades ago, her hero, a watershed moment for me, one of thousands during my career. You will have many as well. Keep those in your mind. Margaret McKinney of Baytown, Texas was her name. Maggie May, we called her. And there's no HIPAA violations here, as she succumbed to wildly and horribly malignant metastatic breast cancer a very long time ago. You can see her picture in the New England Journal of Medicine edition from November 12th, 1981. Volume 305, pages 1195 to 19 for the curious. It was almost 40 years ago and 50 years from where you sit today. And I hope in 50 years you will reflect on your own careers with its triumphs, tragedies, pleasures, pains, and rewards. Now, the publication actually was a bit of a watershed moment. The editorial accompanying it commented, quote, "A new approach to cancer therapy," unquote. It was an intervention based on what we would call now immunomodulation therapeutics. My, how far we've come, though not nearly far enough. And you can help with that part of the challenge. I was on the cancer team because the experimental therapies we were using could cause sudden cardiogenic shock. I was a new cardiologist on the Baylor College of Medicine faculty with an office down the hall from the principal investigator's lab. It's another story. Despite having no experience in veterinary medicine, I was asked to help and did help the PI, Dr. David Turman, keep his beagle dogs with adenocarcinoma of the breast, a known problem with that highly inbred species, alive, well, most of the time, during experiments when they developed shock. So Maggie May, the May moniker, because her experimental treatments began in the springtime, near to where we sit today. She was one of our first patients undergoing plasma perfusion over Staphylococcus cell wall protein A, which has been immobilized on a charcoal filter with ether-based solution and then infused during a plasma apheresis system. I thought we'd figured out how to attenuate the toxicity during our animal experiments, but we hadn't. So during the series of treatments, we watched amazingly as the ugly mass of metastasis on her chest wall over her radical mastectomy scar, and she had other metastases, bones, lungs, liver, heated up, turned a flaming red, began to blister, and became painful in minutes. She was so hopeful, as we were too, that this was a sign of tumor necrosis. Well, it was. During the infusion, she would comment, "I can taste it." It excited her. She had hope. She would also develop fever, rigors, wheezing, tachycardia, hypotension, shock. She suffered greatly, and I was terrified. Fortunately, because of my canine experience, I insisted on doing the experiments in our Houston Methodist CCU with a Swan-Ganz catheter placed to monitor hemodynamics. That was no fun for her. She could indeed taste it. And I could smell the scent as she breathed in and out. I didn't know what it meant initially, but it turned out to be the ether eluting off of the charcoal. That and the shock syndrome, yet another story. But despite her suffering, she insisted we continue the protocol of intermittent treatments because the tumor was literally melting away. And we always managed to pull her back from the brink. Epinephrine and dobutamine became my best friends. But my story today is really about something she said to me and a famous quote she was fond of. During one of her treatments that caused a particularly awful and frightening bed-rattling rigor, with much discomfort, I said to her, "Maggie May, you're my patient, but more, my heroine. You're so brave." Yes, let's please remember that our patients, mine and yours, need always be our heroes and heroines. Then she responded with some difficulty, "Dr. Young, do you know what it means to be a hero?" I did not. And then she said, "A hero is someone who never lets anyone know just how afraid and frightened they are." And so it is true. Never forget that. When you're wearing your white coats and perhaps all day, every day, don't forget that. Maggie May also loved history, as I do, and was very well read. So during many long hours camped at her bedside, we talked about all things historic. One of her heroes, and mine too, was Winston Churchill. You knew I might have to bring someone like this up. Turns out a quote of his became a watchword during her cancer travail, and that quote is also something I hope you won't forget. In a likely fallacious tale, it has been said that Churchill was invited to give an Oxford, or perhaps Cambridge, or perhaps not, graduation address. In his feisty, iconoclastic way, it is said he sat up on the dais, refused to wear graduation regalia, wore his bowler hat, smoked a cigar, and when introduced, stood up briskly, marched to the podium, and stared intently at the audience after grasping the lectern. He took off his bowler hat, set his cigar down, and didn't say anything but stared out at the audience. Some thought because of his age he'd had a stroke. Don't think that about me, please. But after a few minutes, it is said that he shouted, "Never give up, never give up, never ever give up," and then turned and walked off the stage. And so that had become the mantra of my Maggie May. Now, the real Churchill quote is much more nuanced and important to understand. In an address to Harrow School, which was an early age alma mater of Churchill, on October 29, 1941, not long after the Battle of Britain and the Blitz, his closing remarks included the rant, "Never give in, never give in, never, 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 never. In nothing greater, small, large, or petty, never give in, except to convictions of honor and good sense." And so Maggie May fought on, never giving in, until honor, good sense, and reality set in. I wept with our team, her family, and friends at her funeral. So I hope you remember on this auspicious day a watershed moment and beginning of your professional responsibilities, my Maggie May, your patients as heroes, and the fine art of never, ever giving in, unless faced with honor, good sense, and reality. So thank you for the privilege of your time and attention. I hope you remember at least one thing that I've said to you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Young. That was wonderful. Good morning. I'm delighted to be here for this momentous occasion. As you heard from me last Monday, the adventure of medicine is grounded in curiosity, accountability, the scientific method, and empathy. A hallmark of our community here at Case Western Reserve University is to give you, the students, the responsibility and ownership of your study, of learning medicine, and of defining a way forward for the best health care for every patient. Look around, take a deep breath, etch this moment in your memory. It's a big day. Just as the Hippocratic Oath will mark your entrance into being a physician, your freshly crafted oath of professionalism, combined with your fresh white coats, marks your formal entry into the study of medicine. In Italian opera, you might hear beautifully sung, and I'll spare you my efforts at singing, professo. It means I promise. It is the same root word of the word professionalism. I'd like to call to the stage Emily Manning and Yakub Yarmula to lead you in your oath of professionalism. We are eager to hear your promises as you embark on this great journey, and I'll end with a quote from author James Baldwin. A journey is called that because you cannot know what you will discover on the journey, what you will do with what you find, or what you find will do to you. Welcome to the study of medicine. It is a great adventure.
We, the entering class of 2020, acknowledge that we are starting our medical careers at a pivotal time. In light of this, we pledge to act as scientists, clinicians, and above all, humanists. We will foster equitable relationships through fairness and understanding. We will meet vulnerability with respect, empathy, and sensitivity. We pledge to embrace the unique identities of our patients. We will practice cultural humility and inclusivity. We will empower them to be active agents in their care. We pledge to practice self-reflection, to challenge biases, and strive for mastery. We recognize that to take care of others, we must take care of ourselves. We pledge ourselves to lifelong learning. We will innovate, investigate, and improve evidence-based medicine. We will identify our strengths and our limitations, creating a collaborative environment among healthcare professionals. We pledge to use our white coats to amplify marginalized voices and root out discrimination. We will be transparent and acknowledge our profession's history to earn our patients' trust. We will combat inequalities and inequities in healthcare. We draw inspiration from these turbulent times to fight for social justice. Our commitment to medicine extends beyond the white coat.
Thank you and well done to all of you. We're almost done. In closing, it's been my honor to join you here today. This is my first white coat ceremony as your interim dean. Hope I'm here when you graduate. Wear your coat as a badge of honor, responsibility, and achievement. Let it be a steady and confident component of your daily life, and let it bring compassion and humility. In 4 or more years, you're going to graduate, every one of you, and you'll become a healer, holding human lives in your hands and in your decisions. And you'll be developing newer and better treatments individually and collectively. Now, to capture this moment, I'm told, somewhere overhead, is a drone, so you'll know it's here when you see it. And I'd like to ask all of you to stand up, look up and wave.
Case Western Reserve School of Medicine, entering class of 2020. Welcome. On behalf of the Admissions Committee of the School of Medicine, it is my great honor to welcome you as you begin your journey to the practice of medicine. As I go through the list of the entering class, know that the Admissions Committee selected each and every one of you for who you are, for what you bring to the school, and for what you will bring to the practice of medicine. Each of you has had a different journey to get here, and each of you brings something unique. But one thing is certain. We are so very proud of each and every one of you, and look forward to embarking on this path with you. And now, the entering class of 2020. Osadebeme Ibe. Christian Akatoye. Alice Alexander. Nathan Aman. Crystal Ann. Wyatt Anderson. Afua Anse. Andrew Appert. Harmon Arach. Helena Bafo Bani. Lauren Bailey. Rachel Bank. Devin Barzalo. Summer Bhatt. Isha Butada. Victoria Blaga. Madeline Blazell. Lucas Boback. Joseph Bogart. Andrew Berkey. Laura Burns. Jeffrey Butke. Christopher Cantrell. Ashley Cantu. Lydia Cassard. Elizabeth Chen. Lynn Jerry Chen. Mingda Chen. Diana Chin. Ana Clavijo. Aiden Kuhn. Sophia Corella. Mary Cowden. Thomas Swalina. Himanshu Dushora. Larissa D'Souza. Jamie DeChico. Audrey DeLong. Victoria Deng. Ansh Desai. Olivia Dollawall. Stefano DiCenzo. Gianna D'Angelo. Chung Yoon Do. Lisa Dollinger. Connor Dolson. Alexander Dombrowski. Oliver Dong. Ian Dorney. Radhika Dougal. Megan Dukes. Alyssa Edwards. Bernard Evenhouse. Jesse Feinzilber. Kong Fan. Julia Feinstein. Beizhu Feng. Dre Marcus Farrell. Meredith Fisher. Erica Fleming Hall. Gabriel Forbes. Michael Foster. Jacqueline Frazier. Kevin Fung. Grace Gamba. Madeline Garb. Jacob Gardner. Thomas Gautier. Benjamin George. Noor Ghali. Jameson Gordon. Brady Green. Penelope Halkiadakis. Omar Hamza. Jonathan Hanan. Isabella Hendrickson. Jennifer Hess. Dee Dee Ho. Isabel Ho. Maya Holmes. Lucille Hu. Lauren Huang. Rena Hung. Pragnia Iyengar. Yakub Yarmula. Devya Jasthi. Kendra Jeans. Zachariah Jenkins. Alexandra Johnson. Jessica Johnson. Kevin Johnson. Sean Johnson. Julia Jew. William Julian. Roshni Kailar. Samuel Kalnitsky. Paul Carell. Rupleen Kaur. Hannah Kelly. Aaron Kim. Jacqueline Cluse. Andy Kuo. Marina Latif. Thomas Lavin. Lizbeth Lipo. Haisan Lee. Nora Lee, Nora Lenhard, Amanda Liu, Brian Liu, Angela Rebecca Liu, John McLean, Jessica McWilliams, Arushi Mahajan, John Luke Magro, Emily Manning, Ariadna Marrero, Olivia McCluskey, Seth Mead, Mark McGarian, Vidushri Mehrotra, Lee Malubin, Zubin Mishra, Jameson Mitchell, Benjamin Mittman, Sherry Mortach, Kathleen Mulligan, Sakina Mumani, Adam Munn, Monica Nair, Kareem Nam, Timothy Nicholas, Abraham Nirapol, Dakota Nollner, Joseph O'Brien, David O, Amanda Okunma, Amber Olson, Stephen O'Neill, Jared Ontko, Chinema Anwubueke, Andrew Osborne, Michelle Pan, Xuankang Pan, Teresa Papich, Sarah Park, William Patterson, Adriana Paul, Yvonne Pei, Guillermo Pereda. Jordan Pettit. Lauren Paston. Joseph Powers. Nihal Punjabi. Brooke Quinton. Dia Ramanathan. Suruchi Ramanujan. Elizabeth Rao. Taylor Rappanecker. Nithiam Rathi. Harika Reddy. Alexandra Regal. Oluwapewumi Runshawe. Rebecca Russell. Saswat Sahu. Sammy Sanai. Shlok Serene. Gabrielle Scariano. Rachel Schaefer. Soham Shah. Megan Sharp. Priya Shukla. Zoe Silsby. Abigail Snyder. Kenneth Stamper. Elizabeth Stanley. Kyle Starrist. Michael Stetzer. Henry Stitzel. Marie Sue. Aaron Sullivan. Alex Sun. Clara Sun. Christy Sun. Anna Sweats. Anna Tanaka. Fook Anthony Tsai. Mihika Thaplial. Emma Toth. Tanvi Vati. Shweta Vazhapali. Derek Voss. Dennis Vroom. Rachel Weitzman. Christina Wang. Margaret Wang. Naomi Wang. Stephen Wong. Iran Wong. Ilan Weinstein. Tyler White. Chelsea Williams. Mandy Wong. Douglas Wu. Ying Zhang. Kevin Xu. Samantha Xu. Noah Yaffe. Jennifer Yang. Lucy Yang. Jared Youngyouth. Eileen Yu. Junwei Serena Zhang. Walter Zhao. Kevin Zhu. Case Western Reserve School of Medicine, entering class of 2020. Welcome and congratulations.